Good morning, saints and skaters. I've found out some really interesting information this week and this morning. And you know me, I try not to be too woo-woo in my posts. I try to be historical and factual and base my opinions on truths and so forth. I know a lot of times I use generalities because I want you to look up the details. But today I'm going to venture off a little. I'm going to share some of my thoughts and feelings with you, and we're going to get into a little bit of spiritual stuff too. So please be forgiving. Please hear what I have to say. I'm not trying to sell you anything, but I am trying to introduce an idea to you that looks like it's gaining some speed online and has been around for a while. Hey, get out of there. So they're trying to see if anybody laid an egg in there so we can eat it. Hey, get out of there. No, not yours. So earlier in the week, the Father brought up fasting in my mind. And it's not coincidental. Atonement is coming up, and as feast keepers, we have done atonement for the last 7 years. And atonement is the only day in the biblical pantheon required of you a full day of fasting. And there's several verses in the Bible that cover fasting. There's a whole chapter, I'm trying to remember, I think it's Acts, might be Romans, where, it's used by people to talk about why you don't have to keep the commandments, but in the chapter, nothing in there talks about commandments. It's about food and fasting. Choose unto you a day, and each man chooses a day for himself. That's not anything to do with keeping commandments or Sabbath. If you look at the context of the chapter, it's about fasting. It's about food or withdrawing from food or abstaining from food. Anyway, not the point of the video. So that particular day, I fasted until noon, which is not a long time, granted. And I was shopping for food, and I'm praying to the Father, how long do you want this to go on for me today? And he said, well, your husband's expecting food at home, so just go ahead and, go home and cook for him and so on. I said, all right, Father, I'll do that thing. But I really am trying to get closer to the Father. I really am trying to quit using my noggin and my answers and my ideas and let him tell me what to do. And a sister had also at Shabbat talked to me about her particular walk and food and dieting and health and all that. And she had been looking into fasting. I thought, interesting. We've got atonement. We've got what the Father told me in her testimony, right? That's a lot of witnesses. So I bought a magazine on fasting at the store last time I went shopping, and this morning I opened it up and started reading it. It was really to the point, very simplistic, not hard to understand, and basically the medical community is finding that fasting is actually good for people. And there was a doctor who said this, what was his name? The Atkins diet was basically similar. Cut down on your carbs, etc. And so is the keto diet, very similar, but fasting is kind of specific. And, there's the old-timey idea that, you eat 3 meals a day and then you don't eat anything after dinner till breakfast. And that's a kind of fasting. But these newer looks at and takes on it are saying that, a general pattern for someone to start off with and something that probably could work for a lot of people is just eat only from noon until 8 p.m. And for some people, 8 p.m. is kind of late to eat. But, their studies have shown if you eat just from noon till 8, your body kind of kicks in that fat burning part of its metabolism and people start to lose weight. Now, in some of these diets, it's a little bit more, as you do it, or if you want to try something a little bit more intense, they have also what's called the warrior diet. And in that, you only eat, I don't want to get this wrong. And again, you guys check up on my facts, but you only eat like in a 4-hour window. You fast for 20 hours, and then from like 4 p.m. to 8 p.m., you eat all you want to eat. And they say, like, most people at one sitting can't fit in a whole lot of, 5,000, 6,000 calories at your stomach and everything. You can only fit in like 2,000 to 2,500, which is within the, guidelines of what you're supposed to eat every day anyway. And then they do say, if you eat less carbs and you eat zero sugar and so on, that, that'll make your weight loss more dramatic. But they didn't say you absolutely have to cut those things out of your diet. So your 2,000 to 2,500 calorie meal once a day can be, some foods. I'm just thinking like jelly and jam and stuff like that. Not the whole thing is all cake. You have to eat protein and then some low carb vegetables and a bit of fruits and so on. But that it seems workable. And something else that's kind of interesting to me is my husband has never really been a big breakfast eater. Like every once in a while he wants pancakes and a big meal, but most mornings it's just black coffee. And that is the 3 things they recommend having in the morning: coffee, tea, plain, or water. He's been on that for a long time. So for me to make this switch, I think it'll be pretty easy. And then the sister and I were talking about, added benefits. Supposedly the weight loss comes pretty quickly. Your body adjusts to this fairly quickly. And within the first 2 months, you can lose 10 to 30 pounds, etc. But think about your shopping and your cleaning up and your meal preparation time. For me right now, if I try to do 3 meals a day and it's off grid, so I have to boil water to wash dishes, a huge part of my day is just food prep. Cleaning it up, getting it ready, actually making the meal, etc. If we only ate 1 meal a day, I'd have all day to do chores around the homestead, and I think there's some merit to that. So I'm going to give it a try, see how it works, and then all y'all know this. Supposedly there's going to be food shortages, possibly, in the next year. And then if SHTF, food shortages, well, if you're already used to 1 meal a day and fasting for 16 hours or 20 hours, then how hard is it going to be for you to make that transition? Probably not very hard. And if you're already not eating a lot of processed foods, how hard is it going to be to make the transition to, raw foods that you're growing yourself? Not very hard. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And I think you should ask yourself, what if also? What if I intermittently fast? You can go online, Google it. There's lots of people reporting on it, lots of health benefits, reduction in your blood sugar level, reduction in your blood pressure, more energy. If you're type 2 diabetes, that can be healed with this diet. Just a lot of benefits. All right, bless you all. I'm going to get to it. Shalom.